Hello, hello my loves, and welcome to another perfume video. I am so excited for this one. I love doing perfume videos. What we are going to be doing today is sampling Skylar's perfume discovery set. So it will be a soft-spoken video, a lot of incidental mouth sounds as I chat about what's going on, some spritzing sounds and paper sounds as I spritz and sample the scents. Now, these are scents that I did smell a long time ago, but have not in a while, because this set I actually got as a gift for my sister. And I was poking around in her room the other day and looking at some of her perfumes, and I found the set, and I said, oh hey, can I borrow that for a video, for one spritz of each? And she said, okay, for one spritz of each. And I said, you got it. So I don't really remember much about these. It does seem to be a more like summery, kind of beachy vibe. So I thought it would be perfect for a little summer perfume sample set. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, get cozy, come cuddle up and relax with us, and let's smell some perfumes. So there are 5 perfumes in this set. We have Peach Fields, we have Vanilla Sky, we have Lime Sands, Salt Air, and Coconut Cove. Now, these ones, like I said, a little beachier, I feel like they have the same vibe. I mean, I guess Peach Fields is not very beachy, but it still feels very summery. So I think we will just go through in order, meaning that we are going to start by smelling Peach Fields. So let me see if we can pop this out of there. Getting these out is always the hardest part, but there we go. This one is listed as White Peach, Osmanthus, and Sandalwood. Normally I would wait to read the notes until after I've smelled it, but they say it right on the box, so I'm going to see it, and I'm not going to keep any secrets from you, so you get to know what I know. So, I have pre-cut and pre-labeled little testing strips for each of these. This is my Peach Fields strip of paper. So let's go ahead and give this one a little spritz. There we go. And air this out a little bit. Let it aerosolize and settle a little bit. Get some of the alcohol out. Okay, let's go in for our first sniff. It's really interesting because in a peach-based scent, you kind of expect peach to hit you first. And it doesn't not. It's not peach. Like, there is peach there. But it's a much more, like, well-rounded, kind of spicy, grounded, not musky, but that sandalwood and the osmanthus are really grounding it in a different direction, so you're not hit with, like, sweet, kind of ebullient, juicy peach. It's more like you're getting a really kind of rich, a little bit spiced, a little bit woody from that sandalwood, and the osmanthus brings almost, it's not quite an herbal quality, it's a little herbal, but like herbal in the direction of like incensey kind of herbal, not like fresh green herbs. So it's very grounded, it feels a little spicy, and it's like adjacent to a musk in that it feels like that kind of rich, kind of masculine direction, but it does not actually smell musky. It smells, actually it's really interesting. There's something in this. I wonder if it's the osmanthus, because that's not a note that I have in a lot of my personal perfumes, so I don't smell it a ton. But there is something in this that reminds me in a really nostalgic way of a scent that I know my grandmother used to wear. Like, I just got the strongest memory of, like, I used to go look through her closet. She would let me dress up in all of her fancy clothes. So I would go into her closet and be rooting through everything. And I would smell something that smelled like this. Not quite the peach part of it, but that deep kind of rich base of it. And that is very personal, but making me much more endeared to the scent. I'm finding it very charming because I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of what my grandma smells like. And I mean that in a good way. My grandma, very slay, very fashionable. I'm not saying this is an old lady scent. It's really interesting. The other thing that I think is interesting about this one is, like, while on the whole, I think it does still lean a pretty feminine, like, perfume scent rather than a straight up cologne. The spiciness and the woodiness of it makes it lean in a much more unisex, much less bubbly, like fruity, sweet, feminine, gourmand kind of direction, which I can take or leave because I love a sweet, fruity gourmand. I'm like, I want to smell like a bubbly little something frothy and pink, you know? But this is really complex. It's really interesting. I really like that, like, if you want, I think this would be a really good scent for you if you want a pretty classic and classy kind of, not quite musky, something a little brighter than a musk, but like a rich scent with a little bit of that spiciness and woodiness, but the little surprise element of peach. I really feel like the peach is not the star in this one. This peach is like the guest feature that comes in halfway through the track, and you're like, oh, you're here. What a fun little surprise, if that makes sense. I like this one. I'm surprised, honestly, by how much I like this one, because my first thought was to be disappointed by the minimal peach presence, but it brought me back around. Pleasant. I enjoy this one. Alright. Let me return this one to its slot. Perfect. And let's go in for the second scent, Vanilla Sky. I have gotten Vanilla Sky. Let me get our next slip for this one. Our little Vanilla Sky strip. Let's go ahead. Oh, actually, I almost forgot to read you the notes. More fool me. This one is listed as cappuccino, pure vanilla, and caramelized cedar. I'm intrigued to see what this one is like. I feel like we've been in kind of a renaissance of vanilla scents. We have been in everybody making a hearty vanilla scent. So I'm always intrigued. Like, no shade to vanilla. I quite enjoy vanilla scent. I think it's classic for a reason. But I always like seeing what spin each different perfume house puts on it. So let's take our spritz. Oh, it's thinking about it. There we go. And let's let this one hit the air. Okay. First sniff. Okay, this one, definitely not hiding the vanilla. Peach Fields was hiding the peach. Vanilla Sky, not hiding the vanilla. We know she's vanilla. Okay, yeah, this one, if the last one was not gourmand, this one is definitely reading gourmand. Like, I do get a little bit of the woody base, honestly. I got a small spritz of this one. I'm gonna see. I want a little bit more of this one. I'm curious to see if more of the cedar is gonna come out. Big spritz. Okay. I also always find it interesting how most vanillas and perfumes, the perfume itself will go amber over time. There's a Kayali perfume that I don't own, but I know people love, that is one of their vanilla, like really signature vanilla scents. That when you get it, it's like kind of clear to like an ivory clear, and as it ages on your shelf, it will turn this really rich brown that looks like vanilla extract. So it is interesting that this is by far the most yellowy, ambery kind of perfume in this set, while the other ones are all mostly pretty clear. Alright, let's go in for the second sniff. Okay, I'm getting a little more now. I'm getting less of the cedar than I expected. I was kind of looking forward to a cedar. I really like a lot of woody scents, especially those like piney, really like resinous scents like cedar gives. So I wish there was a little more of that. I definitely get the vanilla, and the cappuccino is definitely, and there's like a vanilla, it feels very vanilla coffee, where it's like you're getting a frappe instead of a straight black coffee. The coffee notes bring this kind of nuttiness to it. So it's vanilla, it's nutty, it feels very gourmand. I think it is pleasant. I will say, again, this is a very personal read, a personal note. There are certain perfume mixes, and this is not, this pops up. I have had it pop up with different houses and different scent mixes and stuff, but that I find lean a little Play-Doh-y. I feel like it is common in gourmands. Like, I feel like it happens especially in gourmands where you have anything that's supposed to be starchy or that nuttiness that you can get. I feel like it's coming from the coffee a little bit, where there's just like a little, just itty bitty little hint of Play-Doh to me. And it's so strange because that's another scent. Hey, I'm not smelling Play-Doh on the regular. But it's a nostalgic scent that takes me back to it. So if you are Play-Doh sensitive, you might clock that too. If you are Play-Doh nostalgic, maybe that's a plus for you. On the whole, I think it's a pleasant vanilla coffee scent. I'm not a coffee girly, so this one does not particularly land for me. Like, I think it's fine if you like coffee scents. A little generic, nothing groundbreaking, but thoroughly pleasant. And that's Vanilla Sky. Let us get this one back in the box. And we are going to move on to Lime Sands. And this one is listed as, surprise, surprise, lime, and then sea salt and coconut water. So that's definitely bringing in that beachiness with the sea salt and the coconut water, making it lime sands. I see their vision. Let me get this one out of the package. Here we go. Okay, we've got her out. This one is a very clear bottle. Let's go in and get our spritz paper and give her a spritz. Oh, she's thinking about it. There we go. And air it out. Ooh, I haven't taken a deep sniff yet, but it is definitely lime citrus zesty in the air. Alright, let's go in for a sniff. It is a very effervescent lime, like a very sparkling kind of lime. Like, it makes me think of like a lime seltzer, like there's a bubbliness to it that feels like almost inherent. It doesn't just sit there, it lifts. And it gets, okay, so it gets more interesting as you go in for it. The sea salt is interesting because it's funny how salt can ground a scent. It feels a little like, it feels fresh, and it's like adjacent to earthiness, but not, because it's not like it's mineralic in that way that a little bit of saltiness can give you, that makes it feel more grounded than just that fruity lime. This one is starting to settle in a way I think similar to Peach Fields did, where this one you get a much stronger hit of the fruitiness up top, this time with the lime. But as it mellows down, you really get into those richer kind of notes at the base. And that coconut. The coconut is really like coming through as kind of a gentle bass note, where I feel like you get this kind of mid note of the sea salt kind of being the main thing that you pick up, where you're like, oh, there's something oceany, there's something mineralic in here. And then there's like this lime floating on top of the scent, and then at the base, as you really inhale, you're like, ooh, a little coconut, and you're getting the little lime, and you're getting the little coconut, and it's feeling a little bit like a cocktail by the sea. But I definitely feel like that kind of mellow, beachy mid-note is what it levels out to, where you don't sniff it and go, oh, you smell like a lime. You're like, oh, you smell like a beachside spa. Another one that I would say is not particularly unique. Like, I feel like I have smelled plenty of things like this before, but it is quite pleasant if you want something a little green, a little seaside, a little fresh. I think Lime Sands is a perfectly good choice for you. Okay. Let's pop that back in there. And the next one, continuing the salt themes, going in with Salt Air. This one is driftwood, sea salt, and seaweed, which I'm interested by because I love seaweed. I love to eat seaweed. It's one of my favorite little snacks. I love sushi. I love snacking on plain seaweed, all different varieties. I do not get it often as a perfume note, so I'm interested to see how this goes. So let me get this one out of here. Alright, I got her out. I've got our little sample paper. Let's give her a spritz. There we go. And air this one out. Perfect. Okay. Let's go in for our first sniff. Oh. Okay, this one, it also has that sea breeze salt, but going in a different direction. This one is very like airy top notes, very floaty. It's interesting because it doesn't smell floral, but it occupies, I feel like, a similar scent space to a floral, a feeling sweet, a feeling like a top note that's kind of hovering at the top of the scent. But that is like the predominant thing that I'm getting. It does smell like a little bit, you get that kind of salt air, this idea of like a seaside breeze. There is a little bit of spiciness from the wood, but it's really interesting because this one leans to be much more sweet than woody, which is, I think, unusual for a scent with no listed sweet notes. Like, with driftwood, sea salt, and seaweed being the three notes, like, I don't know where the sweetness is coming from. But this one definitely leans very sweet, very feminine, if you are looking for, like, an airy seaside scent that is also very, like, femme-coded. Congrats, this one's for you. There is a little bit of seaweed. It's, like, I see where it's going, but it smells almost more like a spa cucumber scent. Like, the kind of... there's, like, the barest hint of seaweed, but because I associate seaweed with such a saltiness and such an umami kind of nature, making it smell this sweet is giving cucumber. So, which is not a bad thing, but it smells kind of like a funky cucumber spa perfume. This is one I think is pleasant. I think is probably one of the more interesting ones in here, in that it makes me go, oh, what is that? Like, it smells like a lot of other kind of like fresh spa scents, but with like a little something different in it that makes me not immediately able to parse what it is, which I find interesting it is, on the whole, like a refreshing, also very seaside kind of scent to wear. The vibe I'm getting is like you're wearing clean linens and a lot of like ivories and whites and a pair of espadrilles while standing on the porch of your quite fancy beach house, looking out at the sea as a storm is rolling in. This is the vibe of this perfume to me. If you like the sound of that, you might want to smell like salt air. Okay. We got into a creative writing exercise with that one. Now I regret not giving the vibe reads for all of the other ones. Maybe next time I'll have to give the vibe reads for all of them. Let me know if that's fun or informative for you in any way. Okay, but our final one in the scent package here in Skylar's perfume discovery set is going to be Coconut Cove. Honestly, really like tingly trigger word name for that one. Coconut, 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 cove. Coconut, 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 cove. I like that. It's you know, it makes me think of the coconut rain trigger that people will do, but it's Coconut Cove and it's a perfume. Alright, let me get this one out of here. And also, I will say, to my own personal chagrin, this is an admission that I am sharing with you here in this personal space that we're sharing this moment together. I have been struggling to pry the first ones out of their little containers and did not realize until I was on the second to last scent that if you flip it around, there's a nice little spot where you can just poke it out from the back. So, a learning moment for all of us. You probably had the better view of that this whole time than I did. Anyway, with more ease than before, let me get Coconut Cove out here and give her a sniff on our last little sample slip. Let's go ahead and give her a spritz. There we go. Oh, and I forgot to read the notes. Oh, I'm off my game. Let me go ahead and do that while we air this one out. Coconut Cove. I was having too much fun saying it. It's supposed to be bergamot, coconut, and ambrox. And I really like bergamot, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, in for the first sniff. It is definitely coconutty. I would say it is quite a soapy coconut to me. I feel like coconut can sometimes lean a little soapy, and this one definitely does. Which, again, not necessarily a bad thing, but it kind of leans into that same, like, surprisingly sweet and floral without actually being a floral space that some of the earlier ones did. This one definitely leans very sweet, and that, I think, combined with, like, that sweetness adds a little bit of, like, soapy, shampoo-y kind of smell to me. So it definitely makes it a soapier coconut. In addition to that, like, the fattiness of coconut lends itself to soaps. It's a corollary I find a lot. There is a little bit of kind of spicy citrusiness from the bergamot. Not as much as I wish there was. I am getting more of what I think is the ambrox, which is this kind of spicy ambery base, which is not bad. It kind of levels out into this kind of rich, grounded mid-end base that is not, it's not bad, but I do find dominating in the scent. And this one, I think it gets less sweet the more airtime it gets. I'm getting less coconut and more of that ambery base. It remains pretty soapy though. And you know, if you like a soapy coconut, then great news for you. I prefer a non-soapy coconut. I really like coconut scents, but I prefer like a coconut milk or a fruity coconut or coconut husk, like something that feels very grounded in a coconut. This feels like a coconut made into soap and then turned into a perfume. So this one, I'm sorry to say, probably hitting the least for me, just because it's getting that soapy coconut, and I think it's the addition of the other kind of, like a generic ambery, like musky kind of thing. It's giving a little bit like bar of soap in a hotel, where it's like a mid-range, nice but not a brand you know soap. Where you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of nice, but you're not going to think about it after you leave. Perhaps harsh. If you like this one, I'm happy for you. I feel like it is fine, but especially in a world with so many really interesting coconut scents, I feel like this one is not a standout to me. If you are looking for fun coconut perfumes and you want something a little different and something a little spicy, I would recommend Heretic Parfums Dirty Coconut, which I quite like. They have a line of like dirty fill-in-the-blank perfumes that are supposed to be a like kind of grungier twist on a traditional sweet kind of sometimes fruity or floral perfume note. Like their Dirty Mango perfume is one of my all-time favorites. I really love the Dirty Peach as well. Those are two of my go-to summer scents. And I think I have their Dirty Jasmine as well. But all add a little something funky, often woody. And I think I tried a sample of the Dirty Coconut. It's been a long time. But that one, a much more like rich, woody, spicy, interesting take on a coconut. If you want Coconut Plus, I would try that one, me personally. But your mileage may vary. That was our last perfume. So the set as a whole. I have tried some Skylar scents before, and Skylar, to me, makes very inoffensive perfumes. I very rarely smell a Skylar perfume and go, oh, that's bad. I feel like they are often rather generic, which is sometimes disappointing because I feel like they are a company that sucks you in with like a lot of pitches for interesting fragrances. I think I placed my first order with them for a mango sticky rice scent that they advertised a while ago, which I think I talked about in one of my past perfume try-on videos. If I can find it, I'll link it up in a card. But, and that one, it was fine. Again, it kind of just turned into like a kind of average fruity scent, which like not an egregious thing for a perfume to be, but I personally like more unique scents. I like something that feels more standout and not like something I've smelled many times before. So if you are somebody who is especially looking for like a starter perfume set, if you're trying to get into things, figure out what you like, and you're looking for things that are a little more inoffensive, this is a good set for you, I think. Like this is a set that I got for my sister when she was younger and was, trying out perfumes, didn't quite know what she liked, and you're gonna get a bunch of scents in this that are all nice, decent scents. None are gonna be like wildly controversial. And they are at a reasonable price point, in my opinion, for perfumes. So I think it is a good set if you're looking for something like that. Probably not the set for you if you were looking for something particularly innovative or standout. But there are some pleasant scents in here. I think my personal favorite, probably the very first one, Peach Fields. I love peach. I honestly wish there was more peach, but I really liked the kind of nostalgic, for me personally, base. That osmanthus and sandalwood base was really rich and warm and pleasant, with a little surprise of peach. I think was really nice. And the Vanilla Sky I think could be quite nice if you like coffee scents, which I don't particularly, but I think could be good. Lime Sands I also found interesting. Kind of the last couple. Take them or leave them as far as I'm concerned. But what I did enjoy was trying these out with you. I hope you had fun in this video. Let me know if there are any perfumes you'd like to see me try. I do still have a bag of samples, of assorted samples that I pick up on various Sephora orders and whatnot that I think we could dip into if you like these kinds of videos and would like to see some more perfume sampling. Or if you know anybody, if you are a perfume person, if there is a set you want to know what it smells like or you think I should try that you think I might like, let me know. I love getting a little perfume sampler set, so I am always happy to field recommendations. But I hope that this has been relaxing for you and you are all set up for sleep, for relaxation, for whatever you need in your day to day. But for now, I hope you are cozy and relaxed, and I hope I will see you in another video. Goodbye, my love.